How you doing, everybody? I'm George. I'm an addict. And I'm blown away. First, I'd like to thank the convention committee for even considering me to present the message of recovery, And before we go on, in all seriousness, I'd like to have a moment of silence for all the grandparents that are about to become parents because of this disease. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. All right. Don't think I'm that subdued or mellow, just like they say. Don't worry, I'll start ramping up soon. Okay? I came to Narcotics Anonymous, got clean, found out about this convention, and I came out here to sell merchandise to raise money for an area that I came from in New Jersey. I found this place, and I found Utopia. Okay. But the self-centered addict that I am, I go back to New Jersey, and I don't want everybody to think that I found this. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, you got to see this convention. It's unbelievable, this, that, and the other things, right? So what happens is I grabbed a hold of my sponsee and his best friend, and we piled in a car, and I took him to the next Ripley convention. And I'm talking in the car, and I'm telling them, this is great, man. You got to see these people. They're dripping with spiritual principles. You know what I mean? And they're having all these workshops that are awesome. And everybody's like, so I'm talking all this great stuff. We pull into a gas station, and I lock my keys in the car. And I'm like, motherfucker! Completely lose it. They're running around the car, and they're holding themselves, and they're almost peeing because they're laughing so hard at me. And I'm like, the fuck is so funny? I locked my fucking keys in the car. And they're like, relax. They ran into the convenience store and they got a hold of a fly swatter. And the little hoodlums that they were, they jimmied the door open and we're on our way, right? So now I get here, we get on a property, we register, we're having a good time walking around, go to workshops. The first day of the convention, it was just like, it's unbelievable. Like mind-blowing experience like we always get. Like I kept telling them, wait until we circle up under the stars. Wait, your knees are gonna get like rubber. It's unbelievable. So we do that. The next day, beautiful sunshine, people are playing frisbee in the hack, they're kicking around, you know what I mean? A volleyball and workshops, playtime, lunch, So now I look over and I see, everybody gets a name, right? My sponsee was Jimmy the Kid, right? And his best friend was Moose. Everybody gets a name, you know what I mean? Like Wonder Bread Mike. And so now I go walking over, I see the Kid, and I see Moose standing on a bridge over there by the pond. So now I come walking over. I'm just happy-go-lucky me. I'm like, what's up, motherfuckers, right? I go walking over there, and there's these two people standing on the bridge with them talking. Well, apparently they weren't a part of the convention. They were on the other side of the property having like some kind of Bible study or something. They were looking at me like I was the spawn of the devil. They were ready to jump over the rail and swim across the pond. You know what I mean? Here I go again, But these are just things that I think about when I come here, These are good memories to me, no matter how much I embarrass myself or look like a chooch for a second, These are all part of my, I can't wait to get back here memories, The last time that I was here was last November. Okay? I went to a workshop last November. The topic of the workshop was going through any lengths to stay clean. And in the middle of that workshop, my phone vibrated. And I went and I looked at my phone, and it was my sponsee, Lou. And he's like, he sends me a text. He's like, hey, man, the gorilla's missing. Everybody gets a nickname. It's the gorilla. He's a power lifter, you know? And he goes, nobody can find him. He's been gone for days. His fiance's looking for him. And we don't know what's happening. So I was like, after the workshop was over, I texted him back, and I was like, please, by all means, I'll keep him in my prayers. Keep me updated on what's going on. Now, that was Saturday, that workshop. Sunday morning, I listened to the morning speaker before we left, and somebody said, well, we found his car down in Newark, but we still can't find him. By the time I got home, his mother and his fiance and 2 members of Narcotics Anonymous found him up in a trap house in 40 degrees in a pair of boxer shorts and flip-flops. And he was gone. And I got that phone call, man, it tore me up. And then the next day, you get home from Ripley. I drive from here to New Jersey, man. I am beat. And I slept all day that day. And when I got up, I went to the mailbox. And when I went to the mailbox, people, I am not lying to you. When I went to the mailbox, I got his wedding invitation. All of us have dreams. All of us make plans. All of us have things we want to do so bad and we aspire to. But first and foremost, you got to get clean. And you got to stay clean. You know, I hear these people talking about all the time like they're no matter what club. They're no matter what club. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if I could say for myself, like for me, it's a day at a time program. But I know for this day, I got big guns on my gratitude, man. There ain't nothing gonna take me down. Nothing. Because I know you know what took me down every time? Me. I didn't get high because I wanted to punish myself. And sometimes I didn't get high because I wanted to feel good. I got high because it's what I knew. And I was so empty inside. And I didn't think I had anything to offer. Terminal low self-esteem. I met you people. You know, there's a lot of times where, you know, I'll put up on that, what do we say, social media. You know, like we all keep in touch with each other. We keep in touch with our friends. Obviously, I'm a biker. It's my thing. And there's a lot of times where I'll put on there like, I had an awesome ride today. It was great getting my knees in a breeze. And I always write, drinking beauty with my eyes. When I'm riding around on my bike and I got a full tank of gas and I'm looking around and I don't got a care in the world and I'm looking at all this beauty, I'm drinking beauty with my eyes. But I'll tell you what, man, there ain't a motorcycle ride I've ever been on in my life that is more beautiful than what is in front of me right now. This is drinking beauty with my eyes. It's a patchwork quilt of all these different dynamics and different people and different backgrounds. And it's just, to me, that's what makes this journey for me so rich. You know, I have a personal higher power. I don't know what works for you as your higher power, but I see it in action and I see it work. And when it works for you, it lights me up, man. It lights me up. I get stoked for this. I see people taking on things that they've never taken on before. You know, like we used to have, everybody gets a name, right? I'm going to go on. We had a guy named Joe Scoop. And Joe Scoop used to say to me, Georgie, it's a win-win. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, it's a win-win, Georgie. Listen, as long as you don't pick up, you're either going to learn what to do or what not to do. And that's it. It says in our literature we're supposed to make new mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. The only failure is when you don't try. I got people in my life that, trust me on this, man, when I'm a big burly guy, when I can't muster up the balls to do what I want to do in my life, they're there for me. They muster up the balls and they're like, listen, we got you, man. 100%, we got your back. You're going to get through this. You're going to be okay. You know, go to meetings, share about it. You know, talk to your sponsor, talk to your network. You know, the sponsor that I have a wonderful relationship with my sponsor. I love my sponsor very much. And it's not about a pedestal, trust me on this, because he's a sick fuck. You know what I mean? And that's the way I like it. The relationship that I've had with my sponsor has evolved over the years, where it's a bond of trust like I've never had before with another man, you know? And it's very simple. He's not the kind of guy for me. He's never, even since the day I asked him to be my sponsor, he's not one to fire orders at you or tell you need to do this or you need to look at that. He's just a great listener and a great soundboard. And he's the kind of guy, after I have all this verbal diarrhea all over him, then I'm like, all right, I'm going to shut up. What do I need to do now? And he's the kind of guy that just like, he'll say something like, feelings are like buses, another one will come along. Really? And he goes like this to me. And it works. You know? He says things to me that are so simple they trip me up. Because why? I'm an addict, man. You give me a fucking feeling, I don't want just that feeling, I want to customize it. You give me a feeling, I'm ready to paint flames on it, put pinstripes on a motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's gotta, you know, that movie, there's some movie where this guy's hitting a bus with an axe or something like that, and the guy goes, what are you doing? He goes, I'm making it look mean. You know, and that's how I feel about a lot of things I go through. It's never good enough. It's never enough. You know what I mean? I always want to be, what do they call that? Terminally cool, fatally hip, all that shit, man. You know, and guess what? We all do. You know what? There was a point where I said to when I heard that phrase, I'm saying, oh no, I can't feel that. I shouldn't endure that. That's wrong and everything. No, it's we all, yeah, me too. We all do. We all do. There's a lot of times where I'll just make a complete fool of myself and the people around me go, we love you in spite of it. It's okay. You're not that cool. You know? So before I lose sight of this, I've never done this before. I've never stood up and spoke before a group of Narcotics Anonymous and read any literature. I'm not one of those literature kind of guys. I'm not like a literature quoter. I'm not a book pounder or anything like that. Is it applicable? That's what my sponsor says to me. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but is it applicable? That's what's most important. Is it applicable? Okay? So a couple of years ago, Beverly came up to the podium and she wanted to quote something that I love very much. And she lost sight of it. You had the wrong damn book. Shame on you. Okay. This is what I turned her on to. Okay. We see that regardless of the presence or absence of material success in our lives, we can become content. We can be happy and fulfilled with or without money, with or without a partner, with or without the approval of others. We've begun to see that God's will for us is the ability to live with dignity, to love ourselves and others, to laugh, and to find great joy and beauty in our surroundings. our most heartfelt longings and dreams for our lives are coming true. These priceless gifts are no longer beyond our reach. They are, in fact, the very essence of God's will for us. That is page 112 of my book. It is one of the last paragraphs of 11, step 11, and it works out why. Okay? Now, I don't know about you. I can only talk for me. When I read that, I could walk up on Route 77 and punch an 18-wheeler to a dead stop. Because that's how I feel. I love recovery. When I got high, I was such a coward, a complete punk. I sold myself out time and time again, only to do it all over again the next day. The only way I found a set of balls was coming into recovery, and I made it my decision to get into the center of that program and stay there, because the old dope fiends that taught me how to stay clean, they were the kind of guys that told you, you need to be in the center of this program, you know? Remember that? There was this old show. I'm an old guy. I'll date myself now. There used to be this show on TV called Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Right? And in the show, you know, it's like Animal Planet. You youngins, it's Animal Planet, all right? Okay. And what they did was they show all these animals on the high plains of the Serengeti, you know? And there they are, and who gets hit? Well, whoever gets hit are the ones that are sickly, the ones that are lame, and the ones that are on the outside of that pack. But the ones that are in the center, they don't get touched. And that's how you got to be about your program, right? Now we're going to put it to a little bit of street there. You don't want to go to a cop spot with a limp. Trust me on that. You don't want to go down to the cop spot with a crutch. You know what I mean? Because you're in the high plains of the Serengeti. All right? And trust me on this, folks. It ain't no different. Just because I have an increment of time, just because I've been here at Narcotics Anonymous and worked steps and sponsored men and taken them through the steps, does not mean that I'm exempt. I am not exempt from this, man. I'm not exempt from this. You know? Found my friend's wedding invitation in a mailbox. I cried so hard, it was gut-wrenching. I felt like I did like 1,000 sit-ups. I cried so hard. I couldn't catch my breath. I was crying so hard. It was destroying me, you know? But yet again, trust me on this. If I don't work this program, if I don't stay in the center, if I don't call people on the phone, if I'm not one of these absolute dopeless fucking hope fiends chasing us down, wanting to be there for somebody else, talking late night on the phone, or just listening to somebody, like being their soundboard for them, you know what I mean? Trust me on this. I will go back down there like I never left. Right? And there'll be some big, ugly Samoan motherfucker with an afro and a pick in his hair, and he doesn't even have a baseball bat. He's got a goddamn bedpost off a bed hanging over his shoulder. You know what I mean? And you want to see what kind of coward, hopeless, fantasy junkie I am? I see this guy, this crazy mongoloid looking dude with a bedpost over his shoulder, and I'm saying, they probably got the good stuff. Right? That's how desperate and hopeless I become without this fellowship. I've been through a lot of stuff. Last time I spoke here was 2011. And I spoke here in 2011, I was walking on sunshine. I really was. I'd been to the mountaintop. I came here and I addressed not only a convention of Narcotics Anonymous, but I addressed my people. I addressed the Mountaineers Convention. I was honored. And my life was Unbelievable. That was May. June came, July came. At that time, I was involved with a motorcycle club. July 1st of 2011, we went out to pay respects to a guy in a motorcycle club that passed away. And we were riding from New Jersey into Pennsylvania. There was a pack of 7 motorcycles. 2 got killed instantly. 4 went to the hospital, and I was on the back of the pack. I locked up my brakes, and I didn't even drop the bike, okay? We were mowed down by a drunk driver, all right? And my life was never the same after that. It was devastating, you know what I mean? And then after that, like all kinds of unresolved issues, survivor's guilt, just overcompensating for things, you know what I mean? Like, now it's my friends died, so now I want to make this club more, tighter and, than it's ever been, and this, and you want to know something? It was a total, complete self-will thing. And guess what? God told me, you're not supposed to be over there. So I no longer belong to that motorcycle club. And, I've moved on with my life. But there's things that, like, then after that, I came home. My mother says to me, your father's sitting in a chair in the living room. Yeah, what's the matter? He's got this pain. Now, my father's old school. He's the kind of guy, like, he could be bleeding out of his eyes. And I'm fine, And I was like, what's the matter, Pop? He had his pants unbuttoned and he's sitting in the chair. And I'm like, what's the matter? Oh, I'm fine. I said, no, you're not fine. I took him to a Medi Center, and the lady pushed on his stomach. She goes, your appendix is about to burst. So we ran him down to the emergency room. And by the time we got him down to the emergency room, got him seen, this is a whole, I took him to the wrong hospital. I should have taken him to one of these ritzy suburban hospitals, and I took him to a trauma center in Hood. You know what I mean? Because I thought they'll get to him quick. Well, it was a bad call. Because we went in there, and instead I should have went to the back of the hospital, but instead I tried to have him take through the front of the hospital. And by the time they got to my father, he perforated. And then what happened was he went septic. And my father at the time was like, what, 80 years old, 79 years old, with all this poison slamming through his body. He had a urinary tract infection so bad that the ammonia went up to his brain. He was talking all kinds of crazy, like wrap tin foil around your head if you want to listen to my father, And so what happened was we were taking care of that, all right? At the same time, we were prepping my father for surgery. I've never seen my father in my life scared, okay? And it freaked me out. Like this was the man who was always in my life, that was always strong. It was always a strong role model for me. And I've never, ever seen him like this. My father looked like he was panting. He looked like a little kid, like, and I was like, oh man, I felt crazy. And the nurse told us, you've been down here in the emergency room for a long time. Go home and get rest, and we'll call you when we're gonna prep him for surgery. Fine, we go home. A couple hours sleep, my sister wakes up, and I'm like, she goes, they called us, we gotta get down to hospital. So she goes, I'm gonna go get the car in the driveway, you get mommy. Call my mother, she's upstairs, my mother's just being the mother that I have, the old Irish mother that I have. She's like, oh, I'm trying to find your father's charger cord, and I'm trying to make sure he's got his underwear, and I want to get a set of pajama bottom. And we're like, come on, we got to go. My sister pulls the car down the driveway. My mother fell down the steps and broke her hip. Damn. When it rains, it pours, and the hits just keep on coming. So I went outside, and I told my sister. My sister said, I'm going to go down and see Daddy. This was one of those, there's no time to be emotional about this. I'm gonna go down and see Daddy, you call the ambulance. Stay with Mommy. We took care of that. I had back-to-back parents and separate rehabs. I was falling out with my motorcycle club, back-to-back fucking rehabs with my parents. I'm telling you, I thought I was losing my mind. I really did. I said, I'm going crazy. I'm not going to get through this one, but I'll tell you what, I never even thought of using. Using's not the answer. And I'm surprised that the drug addict that I am, I was like, I can't believe that I didn't think about using. For me, it's like, using is such an option. It's not an option. It's that much of for me, listen, man, I'll stand right up here and tell you, I'm a drug addict. I like to get high from the top of my head to the tippies of my toes. Love it. But what our literature says is, you weren't getting high no more, George. You were caught in a vicious cycle. That's all you were doing, man. You were doing emotions. I was getting off more going down a cop than I was when I got it in my hand. You understand? That's what's giving. The old dope fiends that were around when I got clean, they said, you're an excitement freak. That's what you are. You got to treat yourself like you had a major heart attack. You got to slow down a little bit. Because I'm the kind of guy, you bring me down a cut and I start seeing the lights around the bodega and everything, I'm like, I think I'm in an amusement park. You know what I mean? I love that shit. I love hanging out in front of a bodega with 3/4-inch plexiglass and bullets flying. I'm in my element. I'm like, this is great. You know? And I'm not saying that to glorify the disease of addiction. I'm not, believe me, I'm not. I'm saying that's how deep and fast I will sell myself out. But you people taught me to forge a relationship with God. You people taught me to pray on it and meditate on it. You people told me to be honest about it. It was as simple as my sponsor looking at me and just saying, like those crazy little things he says to me, what is your price of peace today? What's your price of peace? I'm not willing to find that out right now. Just for this 24, I got it really good. You know, I always say this when I celebrate. I say, I slept indoors, I had a meal, and I put soap across my body. If it don't get no better than that, I'm ahead of the game. I got it really good. It's got to be that simple, because I can get caught up in, I didn't get my fucking way. You know what I mean? You didn't get your way. Yeah. You didn't get your car repaired in time. You know? But it's legit. That's how I feel. I mean, you know, we come around and we get some materialistic things, and you know, and we get a life beyond our wildest dreams, and all of a sudden, sometimes we become a little content and complacent. We get lofty. We get soft bottoms. You know, and then all of a sudden, oh, God forbid if you're fucking inconvenienced. You know, how dare you? I couldn't get a crisp $100 bill out of a Mac machine. So that's where my life is today. Where my life is today, my price of peace is awfully high, you know. I go back and forth with my sponsors sometimes, and, you know, I'll say this, he'll say that, and I'll go back at him and say this, and then he'll say that, and then I'll say this, and then he'll look at me and he'll go, I'm going to let you have the last word because obviously it's important for you to have the last word. You know, fucker. But that said, there's no arguing, you know what I mean? There's a couple of things, like, there's another thing I'd like to read to you. Okay. Where is it? Acceptance of ourselves comes as we develop a healthy relationship with reality. We accept what is. We learn to apply the serenity prayer, changing what we can and letting go of the rest. We find that we can be happy in our own skin if we are willing to let go. Not the old sense of neglecting ourselves, but allowing ourselves the experience our freedom, the experience our freedom. We begin to experience our senses. The basic text tells us that we are free to enjoy the simple things in life, like living in harmony with nature, and it is true. When we see the color of the changing leaves, we feel the wind in our face, we feel the joy of being alive, we feel the sweetness in our pleasure that had been gone for a long time. Some of us discover that we want to make art, we want to communicate in creative ways, we may value being athletic, we may be able to run, swim, or dance. We lose ourselves in a moment and find for once we don't have to think at all, we can just be. When we express the joy we have in living, it comes through in our moment, our work, the shine in our eyes. We have a beauty about us and the sum of our features. When we allow that spirit to shine through us, we are beautiful, no matter what we think we look like. That's Living Clean, page 91. Okay? My home group is actually a Living Clean study. That's the format of my home group. My home group is awesome. I hope you think your home group is awesome. All right? I got a kick-ass home group because we have a Persian carpet, and we have a Persian carpet and a Keurig machine, leather couches, and it's 3 blocks away from a Maserati dealership. Pinky out. Yeah. But the thing about that home group is that it's a nice mix of people. It's small. There's people that go there. It has an average attendance of about 8 to 10 people. When I go there, at least 4 of those people have 25 plus years that go to that meeting. There's experience, strength, and hope that sits in that meeting. And there's also other people that are like, you see that hand go up, you're like, oh boy. Put the tin foil on, because here we go. Woo! But you want to know something? They belong. Who am I? I don't think I probably sounded like I had both oars in the water when I first came around. You know what I mean? They belong. Maybe God wants me to have a lessons in patience and tolerance. You know what I mean? I better be able to apologize as loud as I criticize. Because that's a defense mechanism for me. I just want to inventory you as fast as I can scan a barcode. And that way, you know, I just look at you. Boop, boop, boop. You're a douchebag. You're a jerk off. Fuck you. This, that. Right? If you love me for my honesty. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, look, I'm not afraid to tell you who I am and how I think and what I'm about. Okay? And I do things like that sometimes. And what it is for me, it's a defense mechanism. My friend Mike looked at me and he said to me, yeah, you're angry. You just like to keep people away from you. Hello, my friend. How are you, my friend? He says to me, oh, Georgie, I love you so much, but you with the anger, man, the anger. You know, I use defense mechanisms. And when I went through that accident, or when I go through things like that, when I went through that accident in 2011, when I went through like my friend dying and me getting that invitation in the mail, I'm the kind of guy like, trust me on this, I am not some spiritual giant. I'll go to a meeting and I'll sit there in that Narcotics Anonymous meeting and look at you and watch you share and say, why the fuck are you still here breathing? My friend's fucking dead. I'm just being honest. And it's wrong. It's wrong. We all belong. You know what happened? Somebody made a choice. My friend made a choice to use one more time. And he wound up in that trap house and he died. Somebody made a choice to sit in a bar and go drinking and operate a car And that's why my friends got mowed down. It was a choice. But the bottom line is, really, it's absolutely, if God wanted them to walk the face of this earth, they'd be here. And that's another part of it. I'm not here to figure it out because I don't want to. I'm the kind of guy, I don't need to figure out why does God do this and why does God do that and why did God do this and where's God in all this and where's God in all that. I need to get out of my own way. That's why we say in this fellowship to keep it simple. All I need to do is focus on my recovery for this next 24. I really love that we say in our literature about we don't care who you are, what you've done in the past, right? But only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help, right? I don't care about who you are or where you came from or how much or how little you have. If you don't think that's applicable within the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous? I hate to burst your bubble. I don't care what meeting you started. I don't care if your personal story was in a basic text. I don't care if you were on this committee to do this and that committee to do that. That's fine. You should have did it out of the goodness of your heart because you love this fellowship so much. You wanted to freely give away what was so freely given to you. Okay? For you to do it for any other reason, to hold weight, I want to be the historian of this meeting, or I remember. Who cares? Especially nowadays. The younger generations that coming up, they don't give a rat's fucking ass anyway, man. They just blow their vape smoke in your face and shut up, you old fuck. We're taking a vote tonight and we're changing the format. Ah! And you want to know something? That's the way it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be an ever-evolving, changing fellowship. It's not supposed to be like it was in the 1990s. It's not. I was going around with fucking change in my pocket and a beeper on a chain. I had a beeper. Looking at my beeper number. I got to beat my sponsor, I always make that statement. I said I came into the beeper age of Narcotics Anonymous, And that's what it's about. That's what keeps this fellowship alive and free, okay? That's what keeps this fresh. Spontaneity. You know what they say? It's called when you get something, you need to give it away immediately. It's like chain lightning, man. You understand? It's like chain lightning. Do not obstruct the divine current. Because that's what you're doing. By you sitting on it, you're obstructing God's work. Because of your own fears and inadequacies, you are obstructing God's work. Everything goes well when I'm caught up in. When I get to the end of a day and I think to myself, holy shit, how the fuck did that happen? It was like, bam, ba, boom, bam, boom, bam, 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 boom, bam. And it was like, holy shit, I'm still standing. You know what I mean? It's like things like that. When we do things like that in the fellowship, things just get done. We don't overthink it. We just do it. I've done this with H&I panels. I've done this with ad hoc committees. I've done this at area. I've done this at region. I've done all this stuff. And that's when it goes best. When the focus is on what is best for Narcotics Anonymous as a whole, when the egos are to the side, and when it's like chain lightning, it's God's will. I feel certain ways about this fellowship. I'm very passionate. Let's just say. And like I say to my brother Greg over there, I'm an acquired taste. Some people don't get me, and that's okay. I don't get some people. We're not all here to get along, right? But if you can understand this, we're all here to love and respect each other. Let me tell you something. You see this little thing? This is a little piece of cheap pot metal. Costs like $4.50. I went across the way over there in the daytime and I bought one at the merchandise. And it's a coin. And it says the increment of time, and it tells us about God, self-service society, and it tells us that no addict seeking recovery need ever die. It has all these great things on it, this little piece of pot metal, okay? But like, I used to have this sponsor years ago, this guy Phil, Needle Nose Phil. Everybody gets a name. Needle Nose Phil. He was a great guy. He was a service junkie. And he was the guy that said to me, Georgie, what you're so passionate about and what you feel such conviction about, to you, you know what Narcotics Anonymous has done for you. Therefore, this in here is sacred ground. And that's how you feel about this. Somebody else walks in here, it's a porn theater. It means nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to point out to you is that this little insignificant piece of pot metal might be that to somebody. It means nothing. It's not worth anything. It's $4.50. To the men that are in my life, to the men that I have the blessing and the privilege of sponsoring, the men that I've taken through the steps, and the guys that taught me how to stay clean, this is the mark of a champion. This is more precious to me than Olympic gold. That's how I feel on this night. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about yesterday. Maybe tomorrow I think this is a piece of shit slug and I'll try to put it in a fucking pinball machine. Okay? But just for this 24, this is the true mark of a champion. And when somebody receives this, it's chain lightning, man. It's chain lightning. Of course, it wasn't earned alone. It wasn't done by just one person's actions. The only way that I got this, and as I fucking ground through my fucking feelings, and I went through shitty fucking days, and I went through responsibility. I fucking hate responsibility. I went to work a couple of months ago and I walked in and I said to my big boss at work, I said, I'll take that, I need some overtime. He goes, oh, you want overtime? I said, yeah. He goes, you must need motorcycle parts. I did. It's the only reason why I would fucking take overtime is I got to keep my bike in running order, you know? But what I'm saying is that to me, this is like special stuff. I don't take this lightly. It'll scare me to take it lightly. I don't want to take this lightly. Okay? The guys that got me clean, they were some tough dudes, man. They were no joke. They didn't coddle you. You know, it was that old school recovery. And is it still around? Yeah, it's still around. There's some of it still around. You know what I mean? If you go looking for it, you know. And I'm not saying that. Look, as many people as there is in this room is that many different styles of recovery. I know the style that got me hooked. The style that got me hooked was, yeah, sure, kid. We see you coming. Keep coming. You know what I mean? Like my sponsor says those simple things. He goes, the Liars Club. Oh, a bunch of liars, you know? And that's what I am a lot of times. I'm a liar by omission. I'm a liar. I'm a liar by omission. I could be in scads of pain and walk into a room and just, you know, tell you everything's fine. I'm okay. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. You know? And trust me on this. My higher power, I can only tell you how my higher power works in my life. I was acting out. I was switching deck chairs on a Titanic. I put down drugs, and I was using other things. And what I was doing was I was running up credit cards. I was spending like an idiot trying to cop feelings. You know, oh, I'll buy these new pairs of, sneakers to go to the meeting and then everybody's going to like me, or I'll buy this new shirt, and then when I find a shirt that I like, the addict that I am, I just can't buy it. I got to buy it in every fucking color that it's offered in. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing stuff like that. And what happened was, true story, I was really catching these feelings to the point where I didn't even want to open up my mail, okay? And what I did was I went to, like we always do, I went to a meeting out of area. Oh, yeah. Right. Because I didn't want to look like I didn't want to see my people. I didn't want to be around the people that were closest to me, and I had to air this out. So I go to this meeting a couple of towns over, and I walked up in front of this church, and there was a guy standing outside, and he's like, hey, man, what are you doing here? How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. I said, oh, I'm doing good. Right away. It didn't even, I can't even, like, it was just like, it's like, you blink when you try to touch your eye. It was that natural and fast. I said, oh, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm in so much pain, I'm going out of area, and I'm telling this guy, yeah, I'm doing good. True story. True story. He sat there and he looked at me long with this pause. And he said to me, you know you cannot materialistically answer a spiritual question. And I was like, Uncle, I felt like God chicken winged me over the hood of a cop car. That's a true story. And I had to get honest about it. And I had to take responsibility for it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I'm the greatest in the world either. I've been around a couple of years and I still am not the greatest in the world when it comes to finances. Believe me, I can spend money like an asshat, But yet again, I'm employable today and I do the best that I can, to work those things out. It's like, all right, here's where it stops. Operation Get Out of Debt. One of those things. But it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. Everything. The feelings, the spending, the inadequacies, you know what I mean? This is all I can tell you. You know where I get growth? When I'm uncomfortable. You know when things change? When I'm uncomfortable and I'm in pain. And it doesn't have to be, it's not required, it's not necessary. But for me, that's what most times is the thing that sets it off. So what happens is we go through these steps and we go through inventories and we talk about it with a sponsor and we answer these questions and we bare our soul and things that are old to us that we no longer, that are no longer useful to us anymore. Okay? Listen, this convention's like, what do we rise from the ashes like a phoenix, and all the things that burn off, all the things that are burning away like cinder and ash are the things that don't serve me anymore, are things that I've been down that road so many times. It's fucking old, man. I don't even, you know what I'm saying? Did you ever go home from a day and say to yourself, I'm just tired of being right? Okay? These are the things that I gotta purge myself of, and that's why I do step work, and that's why I share honestly. And I'm trying to take this stuff down away from me. Like I said, it's all gotta come off. It's called, my sponsor says to me, it's called streamlining. That's what we're doing. We're gonna streamline you so you go through life easier. So that's why I have to look at my defects of character. Why do I do the things that I do? Why do I need to take that journey on the inside? Why am I afraid of this? Why do I always feel fear about this? Why does this set me off the deep end? Why do I get anger? You know what I mean? Over this. Why? And then, so it's all part of that. That's all burning it away. Now, the thing for me, what keeps that flame burning and what makes that phoenix rise for me, what keeps that flame red hot, okay? What makes that burning phoenix rise is very simple. It's in here. And this is the last thing I'm going to read. Sorry, folks. I'm taking you through a reading lesson. The spirit of love that we express in Narcotics Anonymous is the most powerful thing we have. The basic text describes it as the flow of life energy from one person to another. We see this in action when we watch an addict come back to life in the rooms. The hugs we give are an instrumental part of our method and our experience. NA is all about love. Yes. That's what it's about. It's about love, unconditional. When I see somebody come in this fellowship and I see them absolutely distraught and I see them full of fear and riddled and in pain and they face the wreckage of their past, people from the fellowship go with them to court, you know. Don't worry, I'll give you a ride over here, or they need a ride to go to the doctor. Like when I see people come out and they transform and they blossom into these beautiful people that they never even thought that. That's how this fellowship works. That's why we hug here. I put my heart up against your heart. That's the flow of energy that we get here. Understand? Man, you guys sound really fucking grim out there. Everybody's just, you're looking at me like, what is this, a morgue? Am I making sense what I'm saying here? Okay. You know what I mean? The guys used to say to me, you went down, you hustled, you fucking sold everything that you had and you stole from this guy to borrow from that guy and you went down and got beat. Did you call it a night? No. Right. That's what we are. We're Narcotics Anonymous. Ripley, West Virginia is lucky we're not all using because there'd be absolute debauchery downtown. Right? Buildings would be burning. People would be getting sodomized. Right? This is what, because remember, there's parts of this fellowship where we are in recovery. We've gone through the steps and we've attained so many things and we got lives beyond our wildest dreams. And I'm on this beautiful, steady, smooth sailing ship that has like a nice teak wood deck and a beautiful like brass railing around it. And everything is like, you know what I mean? And I'm standing there wearing deck shoes. You know what I mean? And then there's other motherfuckers here. They're riding on a pirate ship, right? And the sails are made out of bed sheets with cigarette burns in them, right? And they're the kind of NA people are like, are you down? Yeah, I'm down. We're down. We're on our way. You know what I mean? So everybody's at a different place in Narcotics Anonymous. You know what I mean? Some people are on that fancy Love Boat looking motherfucker. Okay? And then there's some other people that are on the Narcotics Anonymous pirate ship. You know? We need both things, man. Sometimes we need to be dignified and nice, and there's other times where we got to be rough. No bullshit. Don't try to bullshit me. You'll never bullshit me. I'm a dope fiend. You ain't got a bullshit from a fucking dope fiend. You know what I mean? So that's what it means to me. The diversity of our fellowship, the people that are in this fellowship that find lives beyond their wildest dreams. You know, there's a lot of things that I want to do. You know, I needed recently in the past couple of months to seek outside help. Okay? After that accident, I've did enough step work on it. I've talked to my sponsor enough about it. I've shared enough of it in meetings, but I endured another bad accident I witnessed on the highway a few months ago, and it really affected me greatly, and it was like, you want to know something? I need to talk to somebody. I got some serious PTSD, okay? And one of the things was immediately, I just thought that was an admission of defeat. I thought I could just, what are you kidding me? I could, you know, like I could solve anything with the 12 steps and 12 traditions. Not everything. Medicine and religion, psychiatry were just not sufficient enough. You know, so that's where I am in my life right now. I'm looking to just be a better person on the inside. I'm looking to love a little more. I'm looking to be a little bit less jagged and rough and guff. You know, and believe me on this, don't think I'm the Stay Puft's marshmallow guy. I ain't. You know what I mean? I'd be nice to you. You know, like I said, when I first got clean, if somebody was nice to me, I thought I could just borrow $5 from them. You know, I was just sizing people up, man. But I met some people in the fellowship saying, hell, I'll give you $5. You can have it, man. What you do with that $5, that's on you. I love you. You know, we'll leave the light on for you. You know, so I don't know. I think I've run my course here. I hope you got something out of what I had to say. I hope some way I charged your battery here in Ripley, West Virginia. This place is very special to me, and every one of you are very special to me. I can't wait. When I come here on that first day, it's like coming in for a landing. Like, I just drove all the way out from New Jersey. The only thing I want to do is I want to get here, I want to register, and now I run around and hug as many people as I can because I'm seeing my family. It's just like I'm trying to fit so much stuff in such a tiny bit of space. It's like it's over. And then what do? Jump back out on 77. Can't wait till spring. Spring's coming. That's all I do. We talk about it. Spring's coming. Can't wait till spring, because spring I take the motorcycle, you know. But I just want you to know that I love you all. And I'm honored, you know, by being asked to come up here and give you my take on how it works for me. Thank you very much.